Hi, welcome to my channel. Slightly different video. This is the first time that I have pushed this at all, that I've even publicised it. I wrote a book, I write lots of books, and I published this, I think the beginning of April, end of March, beginning of April. I didn't do anything with it, it's just up there on Amazon. I've done nothing with it whatsoever, mostly because I forgot about it. I wrote it because I wanted to write about manifestation from a different perspective, from the perspective of shifting in reality, but it didn't really go with how, what I write as an author at the moment. So I did it under another name, basically. So I want to talk about reality shifting now. The book is, as the title says on this video, The Parallel Universes of Jessy Sloan. So what I wanted to do is come up with a character. So it's factual, but it's also, well, as factual as this stuff gets, it's factual, it's also fictionalized. So basically there are three versions of Jessy, but they're all the same. They start off from exactly the same point, and that's how I wanted to write this. You're at one point, and then one Jessy reacts to something in one way, another one another way, another one another way. So their life unfolds similarly in some ways, but then at the end, the outcome is different for every single version of Jessy. So I want to talk about that, not talk about the book, because whether you read that or not, that's up to you. But I thought it was a really good, I didn't know what to title this video, and I thought just title it, the title of the book. It really makes sense because it's kind of interesting, isn't it? To see a bit of a different title, so that's what I went with. Right, first of all, let's look at reality shifting like this. You are on YouTube, and you look at something that you haven't looked at before, so a completely different subject matter. So let's pick out, I love skincare, so you've never looked at skincare before, this is an example, and you look at a certain cream that you've seen advertised and you want to know more about it. So you look it up and you get a video and you watch the video and you watch a decent amount of the video, and that's that. And then you go back to normal life. And then you go back to whatever it is you were doing before. The next day, you log onto YouTube and you see more skincare videos are being recommended to you. So they are on your homepage. And you think, oh, and so what do? You've got three choices at this time. You can click on one of those videos, so you can engage with more things about skincare. You can say not interested, so you can go onto it and say, no, thank you, YouTube, don't show me any more of this. Or you can just ignore. So that's your three options. Now, this is what reality shifting is. It's what you choose to do with what is presented to you. So whatever you're seeing in the 3D at the moment that you don't like, you can choose to stay in this current reality where you are not seeing what you want. Okay, so you do that by seeing what you don't like and internally engaging with it in some way or another. And we do this by discussing with ourselves circumstances, what is likely, how we feel inside about this, how we feel inside about another person. We bring it all into the mix, and that is the vibration that we have, that is the frequency we have, that we put out there. Oh, it's not really out there, but you know what I mean. So then reality can only show you pictures according to that. So it's like an algorithm, that's the way I see it. Or you can choose to say, I'm not interested. No, I'm not interested, leave me alone, not interested anymore. So you don't engage with anything like that because you don't want to see any more of it. So YouTube stops recommending you those videos. Or you leave it there so you can see it, and you might pay attention to it as in you just still know it's there, so you're aware of it. You're aware of the current 3D as it is, and you don't have the thing that you want in it at the moment. So you're slightly aware. You have an awareness of it because you can see it there, because you haven't said not interested. Okay, so let's look at not interested. How do you possibly say not interested when you want something? What you're saying is, I am not interested in these pictures that I can see in 3D at the moment that is showing me a different version of reality. I want to be in a version of reality like this. So if I in any way engage with this, right, you have to engage with things externally, of course you do. You might have to talk to people about things. If a situation arises, you have to deal with it. That's fine. It's not about that. You have to do that. You cannot blanket ignore everything in your reality, but you can stop engaging completely internally. You know what you want. You've got really clear on what it is you want. You are not going to engage with the stuff that you don't want because you want to shift in reality. And if you engage constantly with the stuff that you don't want, you cannot shift into the reality that you want to be in. You can't. So the main thing is, if you are engaging with what you don't want, probably on a daily basis, that is going to hold you in this current reality. You want to shift, you have to stop doing that. You have to have a word with yourself and say, I cannot keep engaging with this because I'm not going to get what I want. I have to stop. It's in my own best interest to stop doing that. What if I visualize the outcome of what I do want? And what if I just said, look, I don't know whether this is going to happen or not, but I can play around with some visuals. I can affirm if I like affirming. I can just go to bed at night, get really relaxed and think, what if I woke up in my desired reality? What if tomorrow morning I woke up and I had this person, or I had this job, or I had this house, or I had this career change? What would my reality look like and how would it feel? But you're doing it for the sake of doing it. You're not doing it for a trying sake, because as soon as you go into try hard mode, all you do is bring in all of those other energies and you keep yourself where you are, or you even see the opposite of what it is that you want. But if you just do it for the sake of feeling good, because that's the reality that you want to experience, at some point you are going to be living that reality and you're going to think, oh my God, did I manifest that? You know, did I do that? Because that just happens so naturally. It doesn't seem like I actually did anything to do it. But actually, it's that not engaging with what you don't want, only engaging with what you do want, and not even engaging with what you do want too regularly. It's just getting on with life, because then you allow yourself to be in a state of detachment. When you're in a state of detachment, and all that means is this is not giving up. Detachment just means about 50% of the time at least, you don't have it in your conscious awareness, you're going about your business, your day. The amount of times that I have manifested big things and I've thought about it after, what state was I in at this time? I analyse this stuff so that I can keep a kind of a mental note of things, a mental library of what happened and when. And I'm always engaged in something else completely different to that thing, even if I have some attachment to the outcome. So, you know, I think the greatest attachment I've had to something is about between 30 and 40%. At the moment it happens, so the thing that had to happen in order for it to shift along the track, in order for me to shift into that reality, so the catalyst, I guess, it's always been when I've been busy doing something else. It hasn't been in my conscious awareness. But it might have been half an hour later, but at that point it wasn't, and that's when I shifted. So you shift in reality when you're relaxed. You shift in reality when you're not constantly observing current reality, because when you do that, it's the Zeno effect in quantum, in my opinion. People call this pseudoscience, and that's fine, I don't mind. It is pseudoscience, isn't it? Because it's not proven, but a lot of stuff in science isn't proven. Really, there's no explanation for it, and there's no explanation for this, I get it. But when you are observing reality as it is, so let's say you're on YouTube and you're sort of seeing the skincare videos still come up and you're doing nothing to stop them from showing in the background, then they're always going to keep coming up and showing in the background. So this is what's happening with reality, I believe, that when you do nothing to switch it off, you still keep seeing pictures of it, and it gets bloody frustrating, and you're disappointed that you're not shifting. But you shift when you're in free flow, and you get into free flow by just knowing that you can't keep engaging with reality as it is now that you don't like. You can't pick out bits of it, talk about it with your friends, ruminate on it, tell yourself how crappy it is and how disappointed you are and frustrated you are. You can't do that. You simply cannot do it if you want to shift. You have to only engage with the outcome you want, and not if that feels resistant, because really doing nothing is better than doing that if that feels resistant. And then getting on with engaging on an outward level with the reality that you have in front of you that you have to do, because of course you have to do that, but not engaging with it internally. And that's how we shift. So hopefully that was useful. And if you want to go and have a read of the book, it's not very long, it's 50 odd pages. So not terribly long, but what I've done is, so I've given 3 versions of Jessy, and then I've summed up why each version ended up in the reality that they were in. I'm going to have to stop because it's starting to pour down rain out here now, typical. So yeah, if you don't know anything about me, I'm an author, manifestation coach, and a mindset coach.